Hi, I'm Diana DeRosa, and I'm with Cathy Woods Yoga, home of Body, Mind, Equine. I love the fact that you tag on the equine there, and I know that people are interested in yoga, but I know that they're also interested in you. So let's talk about you and how you got connected with these two things, the equine and yoga.
Excellent. Thanks for asking and thanks for having me. Yoga came into my life at a very young age. I was very drawn to the practice. I don't know why. I didn't grow up in a yogic family or anything, but I was very drawn to it. And then I got more formally introduced to the practice as a teen, and truly I felt like I was coming home, like it was something inborn in me, cellular. And when I say yoga, I don't just mean the postures aspect of it. I mean the whole of yoga, the mindfulness, the energy awareness, the breathing awareness. I was dancing ballet at the time, and I was finding that practicing meditation and yoga, I was memorizing my routines better. My organizational skills were better. I was just more focused, and it was just having an impact on my whole life. And then we fast forward that to my time with horses. I was noticing what I was doing on the mat, I was also doing in my horsemanship. I call those the parallels of yoga and horsemanship. So for example, I'd be on my mat, I'd get in a challenging yoga pose, and I'd remind myself, breathe deep, breathe through the challenge. I'd be crossing a creek on my horse and I'd feel little nerves coming up, and I would remind myself, breathe deep, breathe through the challenge. So I was using the breath work aspect. I was using the physical aspects on the mat. I was self-correcting. In my saddle, I was self-correcting. I was more symmetrical in the saddle. I was aware when I was tense, and I was restricting my horse's movements. So it was like this natural, organic pairing.
You know, most people, when they think about yoga, they think about stretching. Downward facing dog, you know, the whole body stretch. Now you're bringing it to a whole different level. So I want you sort of to compare the two.
Yeah. So I think I'm bringing it back to its roots is really what I'm doing. Because in the origins, yoga is not a practice of flexibility, not a practice of athletics, not a practice of competition. It's a practice of awareness. If I had to describe yoga in one word, Diana, I would say it's an awareness practice. We become more aware of ourselves, body, mind, spirit, energetically, by spending that integrated time on the mat, and then we carry that heightened and more integrated awareness with us into our daily lives, and that's what the true roots of yoga are about.
All right, so now I want you to talk about how it helps the horse.
Yes. So it helps the horse, as I mentioned before, when we're tight and restricted, we are restricting the horse's movement. So if you're on your horse and you've got death grip on the reins and your shoulders are up under your ears and your hips are really tight, your horse is going to be moving stiff. When you relax, your horse relaxes. I do things like breathing with horses, so we do yogic breath work that we're doing for our benefit, but also the horses relax too. Like they pick up on our energy, on our nervous system, our heart rate, as you well know.
Yes. You know, it's so true because, you know, you see somebody that's been on a horse and relaxed and gets up on there and the horse is calm. You see somebody that's a power person and the horse is calm. But then you see somebody that's nervous, has never been on a horse, you see that energy passing right to the horse.
They mirror, and we're transmitting. You know, there's a great scene in the movie Avatar, and I forget the characters' names, but she's teaching Jake to ride, and she plugs her braid into the horse's mane, and they kind of become one energetic unit. And I always love that scene because that's what we do. Every time we pick up a lead line, every time we pick up the reins, every time we're even in the horse's space bubble, we're interacting and exchanging energetically, and they mirror back.
And terrific. I want to thank you for chatting with me. Do you have any last words and maybe a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so my book is Yoga for Riders. It's not all stretches on horseback. There's all these components that we discussed. And then I lead Body, Mind, Equine retreats and clinics around the country and even internationally. So thank you for having me.
Well, fabulous. I listened to some of what you said and I have learned something myself.
Thank you, Diana.
And I'm Diana DeRosa reporting for the Equine Television Network.